Alrighty. Let's queue up the other game. And switch the category in Twitch, not Switch. There we go. Yesterday, Reverse 1999 had like over 100 viewers in the category, and now it's just 30. That's still more than usual, but it's definitely a lot less. More new story chapter from part 5. Alright, I've updated the stream. It makes it very fake deep, to be honest. I don't know. Like, a part of me knows that there are writers for Honkai Star Rail that are spending a lot of time writing all this text, and it can't be based on nothing. They clearly have written a world that they're really invested into, but they sure aren't good at expressing that world to other people, I feel like. Magic says, it's just kind of a sudden jump from Penacony story patches being from 3 to 4 hours to Amphorius story patches being 7 to 8 hours. Oh man, it's gonna be a rough time for me. Hang on a second, is this not very loud? Testing, testing. Oh, happy birthday, X! It's X's birthday, everybody! Aww. How nice. X is... What? Few people could resist the pleas of the birthday girl, even if it meant becoming a guinea pig for a pullover water paraglider. Congratulations, X! We're really proud of you! X came out! I guess. It's kind of like... It reminds me of watching really bad fan subtitles, or even official subtitles of anime back in the day, and there'd be some really bad subs. And so now we're experiencing the Chinese version of it, where there's just so much misgendering when stuff gets translated from Mandarin to English. All of the time. Oh, goodness. Man, the game is really quiet, but I know it's probably not actually quiet. It's just the fact that the AC is running in my ear.
Even though we're far from home, my spirit shell stays shiny and its patterns remain clear. Something must be keeping it that way. Maybe it's my wish to rebuild our homes, or my determination to stay strong.
Whenever I look at Fututu, I think of my siblings' kids who are big fans of Moana. They love Moana so much, and that makes me so happy, because when I grew up, I didn't have a fictional character that I was really attached to that had darker skin tones, and like, that's just so good. Like, regardless of what skin tone me and my family are, that's not important to this conversation. The fact that my siblings' kids have this fictional character who has a darker skin tone for once, and they get exposed to that earlier. And it's just really good. And I know that there's a lot of effed up stuff that we still need to overturn and stop. But, like, this is really nice. I know for a fact that we wouldn't have Fatutu if it wasn't for Moana, right? I feel like that's not a controversial thing to say. If we didn't have Moana, if Moana wasn't a really successful Disney movie, we wouldn't have Fatutu. Moana's great. Disney sucks, but I love Moana. Whee! Oh, I'm not producing anything. We can't let that slide. I must be producing things at all times. I need a drink of something. To be fair, translating is hard, depending on how much context you have to translate from. Translating is hard. And people need to realize this, and we really should definitely not leave it up to AI or computers. If you want to use your phone to give you a little bit of help reading signs, I say go for it. But if you're writing fiction and full sentences, please keep the human element in there. Please, please. I'm very passionate about that stuff because I got a degree in linguistics back in college. In a robot college. And I even, at one point, was thinking about getting into translating, and then I stopped because I realized I didn't actually want to get into translating. I just wanted to get better at reading Japanese. That's all I really wanted. Translating things into English from Japanese, I was like, I want to translate things from Japanese, but then leave off the part where I write things in English at the end of it. I just want to read things. Making things, making things. I wish that Reverse would add background music to the wilderness. It's not, I mean, there is kind of a background sound to it here, but not really. Not enough, I would argue. I worked in a related industry, and sometimes even humans didn't care enough to do the text justice, so why would AI be better, LMAO? I know! Ugh! Sometimes it's real, you can tell, and it's just like, why did you do that with that text right there? Why did you do that? Why, oh, why? Boop, boop, boom, boom, boom. Alright, so we're gonna try this again, okay? This is pronounced Folie et Déraison. Folie et Déraison. Now, the R, I really super can't do. Right now, anyway. I'm not giving up on doing it. I hate it when people just give up and don't even try. So I'm not saying I'm giving up. I really struggle to do it. So it's Folie et Déraison. Alright, can you hear the browser?
Folie et déraison.
Déraison.
Folie et déraison.
So what I do is I do a Japanese R instead because it's better than the American R. The American R is the weirdest R out there. Okay, now Reverse 1999 sounds very loud. It's just the main menu that sounded really quiet.
Folie et déraison.
Cool. So, just to pick up from where we were talking about yesterday, Chameleon, does it sound to you like the Google pronunciation is correct?
Folie et déraison. Folie et déraison.
Or do you think that they're making it sound more like Folie? Because yesterday you were saying it's actually Folie et Déraison. Folie et Déraison. Folie et Déraison. Or something like that. And I get confused by vowels. When vowels are different from what I expect. I guess consonants also, if I'm being real, but...
Folie et déraison.
Chameleon says it sounds correct.
Decaf and
I
Video
think I made a
just
mistake
rated
trying to
with
explain
2
it because I
viewers.
mispronounced the word I use as an example. Oh, I see. And Decaf is here and has rated us with 2 viewers. Hello! Welcome, raiders! Decaf, thank you so much for the raid! I hope you've had a nice a nice stream and all of that, and an okay day. I hope you get some rest after a long stream. Everyone, don't feel obligated to, keep on going with streaming. Make sure you take a break and take care of yourselves. Welcome. And everybody here, you should definitely check out Decaf. I did a shout out earlier, but there's Decaf right there for you to click on. They, as I've said before, have been an awesome Reverse 1999 streamer and Genshin Impact and other stuff and games. And we've been doing some collab streams on the occasional weekend. But yeah, not much fanfare today. My body refuses to cooperate and I must pass out. Please do just, listen to thy body. Thy body lies over the ocean, and it needs to be brought to port. Or something, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to use Decaf's pun style, and it's hard to replicate. Decaf's pun style is a unique thing indeed. I'm practicing pronunciating the name of the event.
Folie et déraison. Folie et déraison.
Folie et Déraison.
Folie et déraison.
Folie et Déraison. That's I think about as close as I'm gonna get. But yeah. Goodness sakes. I literally just started Reverse 1999 about a few minutes ago, and we're finally gonna get back into the main story chapter... Wait a second, is this chapter 9? How do I know what number it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is. My viewers pointed out I was dozing off, so I needed to care for my health, sadly. Boo. Oh, I'm so glad that people pointed it out. Yep, everybody go wave goodbye to Decaf. Rest well, Decaf. Chapter 9, yep. Yeah. You take care and settle down for a nice little nappy nap and just have good dreams and feel better after a little sleep. I know that'll be just the ticket. And I will do my best to provide a soothing stream. If you're like Duar and you take naps while listening to Twitch in your headset, I will provide some relaxing, dulcet tones. Hopefully. You have the speakers on. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way to do it. Or you can have a different stream on when you're doing it. If you're just raiding just to raid, that's totally cool. Regardless, thank you for the raid very much. Lurk, crawling back into bed. Oh yes, thank you very much for the lurk. I appreciate you. Okay then. I'm gonna get a drink of juice here and we'll get started. Okay. Here we go then. The last thing that happened in the story was that Recoleta said she had been corresponding with a pen pal in Komala prison here, and that pen pal was a really smart man named Elef, who helped her with writing the novel she's working on. But she has run into a writer's block, and she feels that she can only get through the writer's block if she talks to him in person. So she's doing everything she can to get into the prison, and she managed to get in by kind of getting in while walking alongside Verton and Sonetto, who are here to track down Dr. Dores, who reportedly is in Komala prison right now. Recoleta tried to not get arrested, and then proceeded to try to get arrested. It's true. The Weaving of Shadows, Volume 1. Darkness has no form. The ever-shifting gaze seeps into every crevice. What? What? This isn't even a part of the story. This is like a side thing, and there's actual visual novel stuff in it. So here we go, I guess. Female voice. Oh? Looks like we've got a new arrival. Male voice. It's pitch black in here. Can't be sure she's new just yet. Female voice. Hey there, welcome to La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. Male voice. Or maybe she's one of those who broke out and came back of her own accord. Keeping quiet, huh? I get it. This must be a sacred moment for you. A return to the darkness. What? Corridor, Komala prison.
La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas?
It's Doris! What? The texture she felt on her way here did not match the words she just heard. Guided by her keen hearing, she pauses mid-step in what seems to be a reasonably open space. The room falls into silence, the longest minute in human history. Are you still there? A faint cough, a heave of a sigh in the darkness. Pardon me, but have we met before? This is my first time in this prison, as far as I can recall. What a strange thing to say, prison. When was the last time we heard someone say that? Back when the narrator was published? What? What do you mean, the narrator? Is that the name of a book? Wait, you aren't some ancient ghost here in pursuit of realism, are you? There's a theatrical flair in her voice. Rusty gates, pitch-black cells, prison, bars for exchanging letters, a peaceful and secluded place. Sociedad de Poetas. And no, we don't know you. The three of them are spaced just far enough apart to barely make out each other's faces in the dark. What a wonderful example, Garcia. Exactly. It all depends on how you choose to see the world, my new friend. Roberta, we don't have much time. This might be the most important gathering of the month. No, maybe even of the year. The visual effects are so cool. They are! They're making them, what do you call this? Is this called photo negative, I guess? Except it's all black and white photo negative. Let's see, give me 1 second. Can I can probably mute all of Twitch, right? Surely. Or do you have to do it by server? I guess I could just mute Discord audio in OBS, and that's fine. I'm not even in any voice channels where people would join me, and I would want, like, to have fun talking to people on stream. Although I might do that in the future. Give me a second. I'm gonna snooze the ad right here. I can turn on streamer mode. It actually has streamer mode on... Wait a second. Streamer mode isn't on right now. What? Normally it is. As soon as I turn on OBS, usually streamer mode just automatically works for Discord. That's how it's always been, but it's not this time. Why is that happening? And Kinoko-kun, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having an okay day. Where do I go? Streamer mode. Here we go. Enable streamer mode. You can set a keybind to toggle streamer mode. Okay. There we go. There. You're right, Garcia. At this moment, nothing is more important than the salon the idealist has so carefully prepared. You should focus on sorting out those manuscripts first.
Pardon the interruption, but might I ask?
Why your organization is called La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas? I assume it isn't simply due to geography. Don't worry, Senora. We make it a point to introduce our Sociedad to every new friend. But now isn't quite the time. After the salon ends, we'll ask the jailer about your accommodations. Wait a minute, Roberta. Your eyes are well adjusted to the dark. Use them. She's neither a newcomer nor a returnee. She's a blind woman. Please forgive Garcia's rudeness, Senora. A sensory limitation can sometimes bring sharper intuition. In that colorful world of the mind, I'm sure what you see is even more beautiful than reality. Aw. Chameleon says, the voice acting behind is so random in these parts is killing me. Like, at least say the full sentence, LMAO. I know, right? It's so, like, what? Why are they doing this, that, and the other? It's kind of odd, isn't it? But if you weren't brought in by the physician, then why are you here? She tries to construct a fiction in her mind, something that could justify the surreal nature of her arrival. Kamala prison outside, I guess, is what that said? From the humid trade winds of Sao Paulo to the crashing surf on the cliffs. Now, this strange land greets me for the first time with nothing but cold silence. It's Miss Grace! It's her! Miss Erd is to be placed in Ushuaia's Komala prison. She is not to be treated as an ordinary inmate. In the words of the preacher, you are our honored guest, Miss Erd.
I've come to learn the name of this land. Ushuaia.
From that young lady's retelling, it lies at the southernmost tip of the vast continent of South America.
As we walked, I could feel her gaze upon me. Steady, yet never intrusive.
I could tell she meant me no harm. They really are going back and forth on whether things are voiced or not. I've informed the administrator of Komala Prison of your identity and special circumstances. He will ensure your safety. Good luck and farewell.
I sensed I had been brought to a place most unusual. A building with a quiet peculiarity in the air.
2 attendants followed close behind me, some form of liquid dripping from their faces.
I suppose I must claim a little freedom for myself in this place.
I thought the darkness was a blessing. It wasn't too difficult to shake them off.
I'm sorry for your undue trouble, my diligent friends.
Eh? Did she run away from them? But now she's in the prison. What happened there? That was a little unclear to me.
I'm here for a short visit, hoping to find some inspiration for my
What?
next story.
What? What? No, what? Stop. What? Why did she start getting voiced in the middle of her dialogue? I am very perplexed. But also, there's going to be an ad starting soon, so I think I'm actually going to just run the ad now, because I have no feeling for when this ends, and I don't want to use up a bunch of snoozes. So, I'm going to run a 3-minute ad, and we're going to take a quick break, take the time to stretch and all that stuff, take care of anything you need, and we'll meet back here after the 3-minute ad. All right? Be right back. Hey everybody, I'm back. But guess what I just realized? If anyone was watching the stream live during that break and had closed captions on, they would see the closed captions of me talking just now when the mic was muted. But that's fine. I didn't reveal any personal information. That's so funny. There's no way to really clip that either. Excuse me. Goodness. I am back. And let me see. Number of thoughts in head. I was thinking I might like I'll stop the stream when I normally do, but I wonder how it would go if I were to just stop to cook dinner, eat dinner, and then I stream again in the evening, and we would have more reverse 1999 time that way. I could theoretically leave the stream going for like an hour and a half as I cook dinner and eat it. I don't know if that's smart. Maybe I should pin a comment. Or can I do a poll? Can I do a poll? I have never done a poll. Wait, what's chat highlight settings? Oh, look at that! I've never clicked on chat highlight settings. Anyway, how do I frickin' do a poll? Is that somewhere here in my stream manager? Manager poll. Wow. There's so many options here. Manage your poll. Okay. And then I click on this. Polls are a great way to interact with your viewers, ask them questions, and react. Blah, 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 blah. Should I have one long stream with a 90-minute break? Or stop stream... Oh, wait. Okay. How about this? 90-minute break or stop stream and start again? I hope that this makes sense. La 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 la. The duration of the poll will be as long as possible. Allow additional votes? No, that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna start a poll, everybody. View results. What? Something went wrong with the poll. Poll management. Can I please continue looking at my stream manager while the poll is going? Thanks very much. Okay, so there is now a poll. Thank you for your votes, everyone. I appreciate your input. I am a newish streamer and don't know what I'm doing. Thane82 is here. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having an okay day. Hey guys, how do you get more copies of The Final Roll? I don't know what The Final Roll is, so hopefully someone else in chat does. After I finish this little side bit thing here. Maybe I'll find a way to look that up. I assume it's something related to Reverse 1999, right? In the meantime, I'm going to continue on with this little side story. See, Garcia? This lady is a writer. A good soul. You almost made us miss out on meeting a kindred spirit. Come, come. I'm sure you'll fall in love with our salon. Yeah, it's Recoletta's best in slot sidetube, I think. Oh, so if you want more copies to... I assume what you're talking about is like, what's it called? Amplifying the sidetube, and so that it's up to... Because you can amplify a sidetube up to 5 times, level 5. You need to use greed. Just like Chameleon said, yeah. That's how the game works. This has nothing to do with me. It's dark in here, but I suppose you've already grown used to walking in the dark. Sorry, I mean no offense. No problem, Thane. We welcome all kinds of players, old and new and in between, returning, whatever. Not a problem at all. And I especially want my stream to be a place where people can ask questions and learn things about how to play these games that we love. So you are welcome. And the scales are quite complex. You are correct. Ugh. Of course, that seems to be par for the course in most RPG gacha games. But, especially because Reverse 1999 has been going for over a year and a half. In order to keep having new characters to come out with, they need to keep making their kits more and more complex. Okay. Onwards. Oh, did I finish it? That was it! I literally only had 2 more things left and I could have stopped there. That's so funny. Oh, well. Let me get another drink of liquid here. Cranberry juice. Okay. To the pen pal I never met. Perhaps the pen pal you never see is the one you truly need. Okay, this is Recoletta writing to Aleph. Neato. Aleph, my dear pen pal, enclosed is the latest revision of my novel. In your last letter, you suggested the role of a bank clerk, marking Amalfitano with the stamp of the capitalist production model. Excellent idea. In this revision, I have incorporated some of my own thoughts as well. That is everything about my novel that I was impatient to share with you. Perhaps you won't mind me discussing something else? Throughout my creative journey, your encouragement and validation have been my greatest comfort when facing the countless closed doors of publishers. The long, futile efforts feel insignificant in the face of your understanding. Oh, my dear pen pal, I say this sincerely, though I suppose such explanations are unnecessary. Perhaps I do not need to waste more ink describing just how much your letters mean to me. So, I ask, with both sincerity and trepidation, may we speak in person? About the dead, the desert, fate, the ending that troubles me so much, and the tides of imagination and insight that carry us both? Recoleta. At the poetry gathering in Santa Fe de Bogota's Open Air Theater, Colombia. Okay, and then Aleph returns with his reply. I don't know what he sounds like, so I'm just gonna make a random guess. I mean, I think we heard him in the trailer. It didn't leave a huge impression on me. I'll just make something up. Miss Recoleta, as I have mentioned several times in my letters, and as you may have already surmised, I reside in a prison. This is why I have never met my pen pals in person. Due to its remote location and cold climate, Ushuaia is not a place people readily visit. People would rather sip a hot drink in one of Buenos Aires' century-old cafes than travel such a distance. Finally, I still wish you the best on your creative path. Aleph, at the Komala prison in Ushuaia. Chameleon says, he technically did not say no. Recoleta probably. Actually, before I get all the way started, I'm just gonna use a little bit of activity so that it starts generating, because I feel like I'm gonna need that. 720, I think, is what I used. Oops. There we go.
The hunt begins.
Now dance.
Time waits for no one, even for a great.
But yeah, if you're still around, Thane82, I welcome you to give a follow on the channel. I stream a lot of Reverse 1999, and a lot of it is centered around learning how the game works. So, maybe we can help you out.
82 just followed.
Thank you so much for the follow! I never know when I should, like, recommend following. But it feels like it's a good match, you know? It's a good match. I think you'll find some help here.
Time waits for no one, even for a great.
Definitely lots of Reverse 1999, and the other game I play a lot of is Honkai Star Rail. And every once in a while, I will play some other random game just to keep things a little bit fresh every once in a while. Like, I like to play some online mahjong. That's Reach Mahjong. And every once in a while, I might do a stream with my husband Duar, and we play a survival game called Icarus. So that's something completely different. Just to shake things up now and then. I'm curious how long you've been playing Thane82. That's so exciting. I want to help everyone play this game and have fun with it. Sometimes it feels like the game doesn't quite give you that as many instructions as it ought to. A month and a bit? Okay. So you must have started during the Showdown in Chinatown patch, which was the 1.5 anniversary.
You don't want to miss it.
Lots of fun. So in case no one explained, when you started playing, there was a limited banner for the character Liang Yue, and just to keep you informed, characters like Liang Yue are called true limited characters, and those are basically characters who are never added to the standard banner. I don't know how much experience you have with gacha games in general, but every RPG gacha game will have like a standard banner where there's a standard pool of the top rarity characters you can pull from here. And then there's the limited banner, which is new characters that come out. And these new characters do eventually get added to the standard banner, but true limited characters like Liang Yue do not. So that's why they're kind of like really super special characters. Going forward, if you see a character in the limited banner here and you're not able to get them, have hope. They might one day show up for you later on. Yes, my friend told me to summon her if I wanted a true limited. Yeah, she is a very strong unit and very usable in a lot of different teams, it seems. True limited characters are almost always like really, really super solid units. The catch on them is that the pity doesn't go over, and that's something that it depends on how much you know about how gacha works, but basically, once you've done enough pulls, you are guaranteed a 6-star character. And, so if I do, for example, you can look at the records for the time-limited banner here, and you can see that I did some pulls on the other banners. Like, the one before Showdown in Chinatown was Shell on the Waves, I think. Life in Montage was Noir's banner, which was last week. And it's being considered as the same pity as this time-limited banner. However, the true limited banners are a separate pity entirely. Chameleon says, also she has a pet tiger thingy. It's true! I love Liang Yui's tiger!
You're so quiet.
I'm sad that I was not able to get her, but I was prepared for that. I decided to not really try that hard, because I wanted to save my pulls for other things. Some other things. Yeah, next year maybe. We'll wait for a rerun a year from now. And in case you weren't aware, Thane82, Reverse 1999 was released with a CN server first, and then a few months after that, the global server started. And so this global server that I'm playing on is, like, delayed behind the CN server, and that means that the CN server has a bunch of characters before we do, and we get to see what is coming if we decide to look it up. Some Reverse 1999 streamers don't like CN spoilers, and they only want to focus on the global release, which is totally cool. In my case, I'm totally cool with people talking about future character releases, so that's totally fine with me. The only rule is no, like, story spoilers. So yeah, that's the basic idea. All the stuff here is a part of the main story. Basically, every once in a while, the game releases a new chapter for the main story. And this patch just so happens to be the latest chapter for the main story. On the right here, Folie et Déraison. And when you start the game, you start with only a certain amount unlocked, and you play through the main story chapter by chapter and all that. And you have a lot to play. When we started the game, there was only 3 chapters, and then no, there was only 4 channels. 4 chapters, not channels. So you have a lot to look forward to, is I guess what I'm saying. There's a lot of really exciting events. Keep in mind that Folie et Déraison, the new main story chapter, will have spoilers for the events of previous chapters. So keep that in mind. If you decide to skip this stream because I'm going to be getting into the story here, that's totally understandable. But yeah, it's totally up to you. And with that, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's do some more story here. Latin American Fable. Hall of New Encounters. Oh, that's what it's called.
I didn't expect any of this from what we saw outside.
There's water everywhere in this prison. Man. Thank you for the info. No problem. Let me know if you have any questions. The mottled yet pristine walls, the still waters, the silent white tower standing within the labyrinth. Nearby, several prisoners form a circle, some standing, some sitting, engaged in conversation.
Oh, excuse me for a moment. I have duties that I must attend to.
Uh-oh. Chameleon says, yeah, open water areas in a mental institution seems a little unsafe, but what do I know? Yeah, what's going on with that? Ugh, stagnant water. With a sigh, the jailer steps into the gathering, causing a strangely subdued reaction from the prisoners.
They don't seem intimidated by her at all. Yeah. They just look like a bunch of artists having a chat in the garden. And the jailer seems to be like a grumpy neighbor coming over to ask them to keep it down.
The grumpy neighbor continues her chastising.
Everyone, you know the rules. There are to be no after-hours gatherings here without the physician's approval.
Physician. With a capital
You sound
P.
softer and softer each time you come to warn us. Why not just join us? Isn't it better than circling around the Panopticon all day? And look around you. We're in the Hall of New Encounters. What better place to host a salon?
You're missing out in Comala if you don't even get a taste of our literature.
Exactly. Even those oil-dripping musicians drop by from time to time. Not that they're the kind to care about the beauty of words.
Oil-dripping musicians? Timekeeper.
Oh. Before the jailer can say anything else, two of the prisoners simultaneously gesture for her to stay silent, pointing to the center of their gathering.
Quiet now, please. The Edile's salon is about to start.
What? And some of the text is kind of glitching out. That's weird. It looks like it's on purpose. It's not a bug or anything.
These people seem friendly enough. Why don't we see what this is about?
Burton's like, let's check this out, yo.
En desiertos, en estrellas,
In deserts,
dentro de
in
laberintos.
stars, within labyrinths,
En aguas, en espejos,
in waters,
dentro de
in mirrors,
reflejos.
within reflections.
Soñamos sobre la almohada de
We
paja de
dream
la
on
muerte.
death's straw pillow.
Aquí estamos, rendiendo homenaje a los
Here we are,
fantasmas.
paying tribute to the ghosts,
Para rendirlo todo
to give
otra
it
vez.
all up again.
Para rendirlo todo otra
To
vez.
give it all up again.
My dear friends, we face a difficult truth. The movement of visceral realism still stumbles in the dark.
I can answer your question, Thane82. I'll just finish up this little section here.
Our poems, our language, our minds are tangled by a stifling vine. A mundane, stale vision shared among all bourgeoisie. We follow this vision blindly, clinging to the comfort brought by logic and conventional wisdom. And by it, we nip every branch of new art in the bud. Poems are perhaps too fragile an outgrowth to develop one's life upon. But here, we may light them like candles at our funerals.
Hang on a second. The movement of visceral realism still stumbles in the dark. Oh. We follow this vision blindly, clinging to the comfort brought by logic. We nip every branch of new art in the bud? Poems are perhaps too fragile an outgrowth to develop one's life upon, but here we may light them like candles at our
Let
funerals?
poetry become the bridge between us and the world.
Uh-huh. Okay. But Thane82, cards that say precast are cards that you get for extra in your dock there at the bottom of the screen. And if you don't use them during that round, they will disappear, basically. That's basically what they are. It's a little extra card that is a temporary card. Chameleon says, it's a pay run for poets, I think. LMAO. I know. Oh, gosh. Yeah, kind of a cult feeling. A lone clap breaks the silence. It comes earlier than all the other cheers from the audience.
As we come back and forth over the boundaries of life and death, the old obstacles begin to take on a new look. With the eyes of poets, we may see behind them.
Uh-huh. Math puts you in a cult, literature puts you in jail, I guess.
You're a visceral realist. I can't be mistaken. You must be.
The idealist's eyes pierce through the grove of literary enthusiasts, reaching a distant, drifting new world.
A lonely cowboy, finally home. What a wonder. You're in time. The salon has just begun, and La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas isn't like those salons that care more about who's invited than the art. All are welcome here.
A literary salon in a prison? Though, so far it seems to have more dancing than poems.
Did you understand what that man just said?
No, sorry, Timekeeper. I need a moment to think it through.
Yeah, I'm glad, 'cause me too.
Don't worry, Sonato. I would guess we're not the only ones who are confused here. Miss Jailer, is this that peculiarity about Kamala you mentioned earlier?
Enough, idealist. You're still an inmate here, and you are walking a very fine line right now.
Oh, I'm quite aware of where I am and what lines I tread. This is a prison, the safest place for poets in this part of the continent. One cannot be arrested twice, after all.
Interesting. Is he implying that poets get arrested? And in that case, what does poet mean to him, I wonder? Does poet have another meaning in this setting? Does poet mean, like, revolutionary? Or something like that? The man's words draw laughter from the other prisoners as they turn to discuss the speech with excitement.
But please, don't trouble yourself with our little farce. What harm could a few poets possibly do?
All the regular rhymes and wild contradictions of aesthetics converge into a chaotic countercurrent, clashing against the newcomers. That was kind of an alliteration. Recoleta clenches her fists in shock, certain that the man before her is her mysterious pen pal. I'm curious about that too.
Senor Idealist, might I ask you something?
Hold on, Recoleta. All forms of communication with the inmates must conform to our regulations. We will need to record the conversation and submit it to higher authorities for review.
Oh, really?
I have some questions for the gentleman as well, but we're more than willing to follow the rules. I think the person I'm looking for might have attended this literary salon, or at least talked to some of its members. I'd wager she's spoken to that gentleman. That is, if she has been here at all.
I see. Go ahead then. Just watch the time.
As the visitors petition the jailer, Recoleta pushes past the bustling crowd and takes a deep breath.
Are you Aleph?
The noisy atmosphere plunges into silence, just like the still waters nearby. Oh. The idealist is evidently taken aback by the name.
Oh, another visitor looking for Olive.
So you know him?
Naturally, but I'm not obliged to speak of him to one who does not, stranger.
The salon host is non-committal. turning toward Recoletta's companions.
And you, young lady in the hat, are you here for Olive as well? What a lively day this is.
No, I'm looking for a blind woman. Her name is Doris.
Ah, yes, I remember. Her writing was impeccable, like an exquisite crocodile skin handbag in a shop window. Elegant, yet condescending.
What?
Do you know where she is now?
I'm not able to keep track of every inmate here, miss. Perhaps you should ask those who have seen everything from above, through the glass, where the scrutinizing eyes of power look down on us.
Eyes?
She scans the prison hall. The walls, the great tower, and the pool remain unchanged. Nothing appears amiss. Chameleon says it's funny. They say Doris is writing... Oh, they call Doris's writing condescending because that's definitely something people criticized about her writing segment in 2.2. Oh, what? Oh, really? Did they? I forgot. Okay. Oh. Condescending, huh? All the prisoners present nod in agreement, prompting a weary sigh from the jailer.
Have you taken your medicine today, idealist?
I'm feeling marvelous. Today I require no help from them.
I've warned you. It's unwise to act against the physician's orders.
Act against him? No one may act against him here. The physician must have misunderstood us. I suspect he doesn't understand half of what we say. I'd like to know how he got his medical degree. Not by cracking open skulls, I should hope.
What? Hmm? The prisoners exchange knowing smiles.
What a pity, jailer. You know, I've always believed you had the soul of a poet, just like us.
Yeah, every time the idealist opens his mouth, my brain shuts down. Glad it's not just me. Yeah.
We've already spoken enough rebellious thoughts outside of Komala. How else do you think we ended up in your nut house? We've been here far too long. Long after the junta was removed from office.
Junta.
After our home became a deserted wasteland in the aftermath of the Latin American boom.
Oh?
What are you getting at?
That power is boring, meaningless. Nothing holds on to power forever. And the one true connection we have to life is poetry.
See, jailer? Even an outsider understands our ideas better than you. It's time to open your eyes to reality. La Sociedad is the only way for us to feel truly alive in here, beneath the gaze of those prying, ever-vigilant eyes.
I like the voice actor they picked for the idealist. He sounds really good.
Idealist, last warning. Stop this now.
Ooh. They're mad.
Fine. All right, compañeros. Sadly, the salon must come to an end, as our jailer insists.
Junta is a military government, from my understanding. Okay. Aww. The crowd murmurs and grumbles as they begin to disperse.
Dear friends, I do not mean to abuse the power of suspense. I sincerely invite you to come with me to the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. Perhaps you'll find the person you look for there.
The man strikes a gesture somehow equally comedic and solemn.
We'd love to. Only if that's okay with you, Miss Jailer.
I suppose that's all right. You're already here. We can call it part of your tour, but please, ladies, take none of their ramblings seriously.
Thank you, Jayla. Please, follow me.
Okay. We're fighting our sense of direction in this battle, apparently. I thought they needed to record communications, but apparently not. I know, right? It's what?
Nothing unexpected. For now.
I have to pick the right direction.
To the gallery.
It isn't the usual way. It's a shortcut. We call it the reptilian complex and primal hunger route. Much faster than the limbic system and postmodern anxiety route, let me tell you.
Goodness gracious.
But this passageway has long been abandoned, and entry is prohibited. It's extremely dangerous to...
Relax, Jayla. No one, not even you, knows this prison better than I.
But, Timekeeper, I think we've just gone in a circle.
Okay, they each have 3 HP, all damage taken set to 1. I have to pick the right path. I'm not sure how I determine what the right path is, but I'm gonna pick the one that's pointed right, just to start us off with.
Plan A. Plan B.
Hold on to that.
Unconventional choice.
Really? That's it? I thought something was gonna happen once I did that. Okay.
Plan A. Plan B. 3, 2, 1, down.
Break it.
A mice path. Plan A.
So that's your idea.
Now there's gonna be more showing up, right? Yeah. I probably should have taken a team that does extra attacks. Oh well, let's just auto this. That's fine.
Time waits for no one, even for a great coup.
Unless the auto picks, like, heal and debuff, which I really don't need.
Everyone.
Yep, it does. Never mind. I will pick the cards myself. Goodness.
The show's on.
So that's your idea.
Time waits for no one, even for a great coup.
The rare time I can run Shemaine. Oh yeah, he does multi-attack.
I said hello.
Plan A. Plan B.
Give me a hand, friends. I can't do this alone.
A mice path.
And third wave.
Where's the pop?
Plan A.
Give me a hand, friends. I can't do this alone.
The story begins with a battle dog. He did this first. And a dog last.
Oh, the last one died also.
That one's smooth.
Exactly.
Okay. What even is that little thing up there? It looks like a machine or a tool or an instrument of some kind. Hope this isn't too annoying, but I'm actually going to run a 3-minute ad right now. I just need to use the restroom, so I'll just do another 3-minute ad while I'm using the restroom. And we'll get back to this for part 5 of, yeah, chapter 9. Alright, I shouldn't have backed up all the way. There we go. If I go over here... There we go, then you get some nice music. Alright, I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad. Well, let's meet back here in 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, I return! Let's go! And when I say let's go, I mean... Let's... check out these little thingies on the side. Oh, is this another one of those things? Where we see what Doris was up to? I think it is. Oh. It's so interesting that we're getting side stories in the story itself. Killian says, I don't think I got an ad both times you left. Congratulations, you won the gotcha lottery! I heard that it's also less likely for people to get ads if they're outside of the US. Because Twitch's advertising partners are generally US companies. So they would much rather that people who don't see the ads be people who aren't in the US. If there's going to be people that don't see the ads. I believe that's how it's set up anyway. I was looking at my analytics the other day, and it looked like after the US, most of my viewers are from France. And I wonder if that's like you and one other person or something? I don't know. It was interesting to see. I'm so used to like the most people being like US and then Canada and Australia or something. Oh, you know what? My AC is so good at cooling down the room, I'm actually gonna put on a sweater. One moment. Like, I think I do need the AC running. It would be really hot in here. It would be too hot in here if I didn't have the AC running. Especially this time of the day. But, man, the AC is winning against the heat at the moment. In a month or two, that won't be the true anymore, but for now, it is winning against the heat. Alright, side story, let's go. Mini side story, we'll call it. Inmate 1. I read an article once that you Chileans don't like Baroque literature. Something about it being too noisy. You sure are a quiet bunch. Inmate 2. Is that so? And you Argentinians just love it, right? If you're any metric to go by, I'd say you're all loud and obnoxious. You... Just because the idealist isn't here, you think you can turn this salon into a debate hall? You started it. Enough. Julio. Stop squabbling and post your work so we can read it. 210's ghost is still haunting us. Debate. Always the debate. If you ask me, you're simply more interested in rhythm than form. Spanish is a rich language, one that has inherently expressive, ever-changing, and artistic, much like Baroque literature. The typically quiet man's words douse the argument like a cold splash of water, setting the group into a rare moment of calm. Haha. All jokes aside, I do miss them. Ever since those mad members left La Sociedad, we've had far fewer breakthroughs in stream of consciousness writing. I, for one, would gladly discuss the aesthetic value of stream of consciousness composition. As this new topic surfaces, the inmates' voices begin to rise once again. It was a most unusual literary salon, full of emotionally charged statements and biased opinions. But I didn't mind it. In fact, my feeling was quite the opposite. The inmates gave me an incredible feeling. Not one of them saw themselves as a prisoner stripped of their freedom. A group of literature enthusiasts, coming together in an abandoned prison and collaborating to build an ideal nation. It felt as though it was the result of some kind of pact. But in reality, it was clearly a government-run prison. Everyone, quiet down. I have something to announce. Oh, we got a new character here. Is this the lady from the trailer, I wonder? An unfamiliar voice cuts off the crackling typewriter in Doris' mind. A woman walks out from the far end of the darkness and steps into the center of the salon, stopping before the whiteboard and podium.
Mr. Idealist entrusted me with hosting the literature salon.
He left a letter under a stone in the corner, stating that he had a personal matter to attend to. For this reason, I will now announce our next research topic. So this is Octavia.
Fiction's duality in reflecting reality and the self.
Heavy gasps, turned heads. An uproar spreads through the audience. Clearly, this wasn't the topic they were expecting. She raises the letter in her hand in a gesture for silence. Now, back up here, Mr. Idealist entrusted me with hosting the literature salon. He left a letter under a stone in the corner stating that he had a personal matter to attend to. Okay. So, all she knows is that he entrusted her to the literature salon and he's busy. And for this session, she decided on this research topic, and everyone's aghast.
Like-minded fellows, aspiring writers.
Since the turn of the century, the names that once shook the literary world have gradually faded into obscurity.
Literature's been shoved aside in the world of art.
People attend theaters, cinemas, and even art galleries to enjoy painting and sculptures, but few can finish a book. Ow! I'm being called out. I'm being called out. Ow, it hurts. No. Ow. Oh. Aw. It's a critical hit. No. Listen, I can read some stuff. It's fine. And also, different people have different things that they are able to engage in to, participate in the exchange of ideas.
What is left for us to do?
When families are torn apart and our nations are ravaged by tyranny,
let stories be our weapon. They should be the sword that cuts through the bloody truth, the beacon that lights our way forward.
the audience falls into silence. You would try writing a Latin American War and Peace, and we could continue with our original Salon topic. The two aren't mutually exclusive. I've spent the whole month preparing for the topic the idealist previously proposed. If you insist on changing the subject, then I'm afraid I'll have to take my leave. Miss Octavia, forgive me for interrupting, but this isn't the topic we agreed on. Everything you've said, we just can't do that. We haven't even figured out things for ourselves yet. Octavia, it's an interesting topic, it is. But perhaps we can talk about it another time. Besides, don't forget the reason you're in here in the first place. For preaching that the novel is the weapon. Yeah, if it weren't for your rich daddy, you'd be on the gallows, not standing here preaching to us.
Hey!
Another prisoner stands, his voice clear. You've completely missed Ms. Octavia's point. A great writer should be like an obsessive gravedigger, digging up the rotting flesh of social realism from the grave of our times. Only this vast crucible is worthy to be the host of our literature. At that time, Mr. Garcia looked visibly resistant, as Mr. Julio issued stern reminders, and Ms. Roberta attempted to mediate. More and more members joined the debate, and voices both for and against Ms. Octavia's proposal emerged. It didn't take long for La Sociedad to split into two camps. That was when I realized I needed to do something to get this derailed literary salon back on the tracks.
I'm a writer, and I mostly write under the name Erd.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Doris from Sao Paulo. That name sounds familiar.
Have you ridden for Atu? Are you the Erd in Atu?
Wow, I never imagined we'd be welcoming such an honored guest today. I thoroughly enjoyed your piece titled The Tin Soldiers of Sao Paulo.
It's an important part of my visit to hear all the ideas and opinions, if you'll pardon my intrusion.
Man. So, like, why did Ms. Grace take her here? I assume she wanted Doris to meet this group of people, and she just kind of put her in there and was like, I'm sure she's gonna be gravitate toward them, and it's just gonna happen exactly the way we want. We won't even need to do anything. Then tell me, Ms. Erd, what are your thoughts on today's salon topic? A difficult question, one involving preference, a creative stance, and a political alignment. Who knows what the F Manus is doing at this point, to be fair. Yeah. They're a little bit chaotic, especially without Arcana, you could argue. A scale that is never easily balanced. However, the answer has never been the most important part of such questions.
In these restless times, literature has been overlooked, forgotten, pushed to the edges of the world, much like Ushuaia.
Some fall into deep thought, others not in agreement. And a few look puzzled. The audience is largely unaware that the topic has already shifted. Me too! To most, this prison at the end of the world is a distant, cold place. Perhaps even a place of hopelessness. When a prisoner is first sent here, I cannot help but imagine that the first thing they feel is a stagnant pool of water and a calm, quiet despair. She seizes this chance to guide the literary salon back from the muddy trenches of ideology. She recalls the days of typing while looking out over the river, boats, and palm trees. Words are honest. They have no capacity to lie. That's not true at all! Not even a little bit! I came here to gather material for my next book. I plan to record everything I experience in this place, faithfully. And what kind of work are you planning to write? A non-fiction piece, I presume? About Komala Prison? Chameleon says, it's the speaker who lies, not the words, I'm assuming, lol. Yeah, okay, that's a good way of seeing what they were saying. Its theme is fate. Uh-huh. And I think this is a conversation one.
Let's take a step back.
Oh, it's the narration guy.
Pull you out of that whirlwind of passion and dreams.
It certainly was a whirlwind. This is called El Sur Tambien Existe. And I don't know if I said that right.
If you want to make the best call, you need to zero in on what really matters. So what's your take on that big speech?
The Latin American boom.
A sudden explosion that shook Latin American literary circles about 30 years ago. It was destructive, but also gave rise to new life.
30 years from when? 30 years before the current setting, I guess?
Lucky for us, we don't have to worry about shell shock in the literary world.
You don't strike me as someone who knows about literature.
It's not about knowing literature. Any soldier with little experience can deliver a status report. All right, eyes on the map.
The 1960s. Oh. Is that when the Tristes Tropical was written also? I bet that must be it. Or Tristes Topique was written Oh no, that was published in France, and it's from 1955. But it's his trip to Brazil that he wrote about. Interesting.
As we speak, ships are lined up on the Spanish coast. But this time, they're poised to make a new kind of discovery. If you can call it that. And here are our new Columbuses, heading to the docks to embark on their journey.
Who are these new Columbuses?
Carmen and Carlos, the driving force behind this literary feast between Spain and Latin America. Carmen, with an eye for opportunity and a mind for business, sought out the continent's literary gems and secured generous publishing deals for them. Carlos, with his deep understanding of market dynamics, brought these works to the eyes of the European public.
What happened then?
Then, a golden era began. It all kicked off with a scandal at a military academy. And soon, the entire world was captivated by the story of a baby with a pig's tail from a faraway land.
I don't know what any of this is referencing, probably because I'm a stupid American who had bad education.
But we mustn't forget the writers themselves. Fuentes, a towering figure of the Spanish-speaking world, and Cortázar, the writer ever seeing through the eyes of a child.
Huh.
And of course, Mario and Gabo, key players in this literary revolution, will forever be etched in the annals of history. They corresponded regularly, always expressing deep admiration for each other's work. In fact, one even wrote a doctoral thesis on the other. Ah, friendship.
That must have been a proud time for them.
It was. But no matter how explosive the boom was, it couldn't escape its fleeting nature. With the second imprisonment and self-criticism of a Cuban poet, in came an inexplicable right hook, and bang, silence. The military junta had gripped the poets' throats. The verse of the pioneers was cut off, their voices no longer heard. The bond between two generations was broken, and for the younger of the two, the silence was intolerable. They looked for a new theme, a new idea, a new voice, a new method to speak on their disappointment, their horror, and their anger. And they became the new guerrillas.
That's what they were talking about before. That's what they were talking before about poets in prison, I assume. I see. I mean, I don't really, but I'm really curious about the real-life history that this is all referencing. Very curious. Let's check this out. Shadows of the Living, Part 6. The researcher awakens in her dune cave, which felt to her as hollow as a tomb. It was a little before dawn. Stacks of tapes had eaten up her living space, climbing up again and again. Each of these spinning reels speaking of stories about that cottage with a blue roof. Riku's here. Welcome to the stream, Riku. Hope you had an okay day. We are just starting part 6 of the new chapter 9 in Reverse 1999. So, spoiler warning if you haven't gotten this far yet. Oh. Interesting. Just ended stream. Otsukare-sama. She heard the voice of the murdered donkey driver behind her. To hear them all. The laughter and voices of generations past, like dry leaves caught in the cracks of old walls, rustling only when the wind blows through. I wouldn't set foot in that house if I were you.
El mendigo al lado de la puerta
The
también
doorside
habló.
beggar spoke too.
Duermo en el porche
I sleep on the
cada
porch
noche.
every night.
Cada mañana
Each
una luz
morning,
tenue
a
brilla
dim
a
light
través de la
glows through the
ventana.
window.
Pero nadie
But no one
sale
ever
nunca
leaves
por
through
esa
that
puerta.
door,
Y nadie
and
ha
no one
entrado
has
nunca.
ever entered.
Luego la voz del empleado del banco.
Then the bank clerk's
Es la
voice.
historia del alter
It's the
ego.
story of the alter
Esa
ego.
casa debe haber estado
That
llena
house
de
must have been
deudas que
filled with
nadie
debts no one
reclamaría.
would return to claim.
La anciana enferma, luchando en su
The
cama.
sick old lady,
Susurró.
struggling in her
La
bed,
casa
whispered.
recuerda esos días.
The house remembers those
Cuando la
days
gente
when
desaparecía en la
people
oscuridad
vanished
de
in
la
the
noche
darkness of night
y los niños
and
eran
children
robados
were
por las
stolen by the
tormentas.
storms.
La investigadora de
The
paracausalidad
paracausality
había oído
researcher had
suficiente
heard enough
y volvió a dormirse.
and drifted back to sleep
Solo
again.
quedaba el traqueteo
There
del
was
dado
only
de
the
Babilonia
rattling of the die of
resonando en su
Babylon
cueva
echoing
vacía.
in her hollow cave. Gallery of Bewilderment. In a deteriorating activity hall, thousands of floating slips of paper form a blurred, colossal face. It is hard to imagine how the prisoners managed to transform this place into what it is now. That is such a cool installation. That looks amazing. I love it. I love art installations like that. Oh, it's freaking awesome. You're all the way up to part 15. Oh boy. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I'm lost, but it's like, this time I'm lost in a good way, I guess? I'm not lost in a way where I don't understand what the stakes are, I guess. Not yet, anyway.
I've always wanted to use the element of fantasy to better establish our theme. And I was right. Now the stage is captivating, the timing is perfect, and the audience is ideally placed. Only one imperfect element remains in the scene. The creator, who hasn't stepped away from his creation.
Lillian says, yeah, it's really like a Peyron. Like, you need to lock in to fully get it, but you can tell it's well made either way. Yeah, you know? I think you're totally right.
No. There's another thing.
Garcia, the curator of the exhibition, stands beneath his work, deep in thought, agonizing over every minute imperfection. His fellow poets whisper to one another.
Can you even tell any difference between today's setup and yesterday's?
Seriously, Roberta? That's a rude question.
Oh my gosh. How are you doing, diggers? I kind of didn't do Digger's anecdote, and I really am kicking myself for not doing it because obviously it had to do with him joining the Manus Vindictae or something like that.
Well, what's the difference then?
Well, I can't see one either, but you should never judge art by how much it changes in a day. It's a creative process.
I should check it out. It's pretty good. Man. There's quite a few anecdotes that I haven't gotten to, and it's starting to pile up. Luckily, I was able to go through Anon Lee's anecdote last patch.
We might be standing at the edge of the world, but art has no boundaries. We have to show him our support.
It makes perfect sense that Diggers would end up here.
Easy for you to say. He's been tinkering and tweaking for over 3 months. Even if the idealist himself entrusted him with this exhibition, he can still be wrong sometimes. This gallery is turning into a dump.
Oh, really?
Estoy viendo fantasmas.
I'm seeing
todos con
ghosts,
las mismas
all with the
caras,
same
Garcia.
faces, Garcia.
Demasiados.
All too many.
Es fácil perderse
It's easy
en
to get lost in them. Having navigated through the labyrinth, the idealist, the leader of La Sociedad, arrives at the exhibit's entrance, accompanied by several new faces and the jailer.
Idealist, you're back. Are these new recruits for La Sociedad? You must have had a very successful day.
He does have a really cool voice. I think he's playing the character awesomely.
It is good to see you, Garcia. How has your vision progressed today?
First a salon, and now an art gallery. Is this really a prison?
Her shock is evident on her face, but her words are ignored as Garcia begins to vent his frustrations.
As you can see, I've strived to push the element of fantasy in my work so that it might reach perfection. But why doesn't it look like what I imagine?
Art is really hard, dude. I get you.
It's like I'm trying to work on a shadow. Some shapeless thing that morphs and shifts by the hour. Idealist, am I losing it again? I took my medicine as instructed.
It was never the pills that blinded you, my dear Garcia. You mustn't let tedious routine stifle what's truly alive. Remember, like those old poems, your exhibition must have a timeless rhythm that's never lost to the changing of minds.
Garcia holds out his hands as if grasping something fleeting. Fails to hold on to it.
Sorry, maybe I'm just not getting it.
Look out. There's your answer. Though the sun rises the same way every day, the multitudes of shadows it casts are ever changing. Isn't that the only constant in life? Change. We foolishly pursue stability and constancy, but our very world denies it. Take a step back. Take several, and see the truth for yourself, lest you too become lost among the shifting shadows.
I get it now. It's the changing light that makes the exhibit seem different from what I expected. I shouldn't waste my time on freezing things in one perfect moment. Instead, I need to embrace change as it comes. I don't know how to thank you. I won't let you down. I must complete this exhibition. Complete my alter ego.
The choice of word widens the writer's eyes.
Did you say alter ego? And he called you Garcia. Is that your name? Garcia, where did you learn about this alter ego? Do you happen to write under the name...
But the curator has already returned to his work, uninterested or oblivious to his visitors.
Please, Recoleta, give our artist some space. Can't you see? He's already returned to his own time and space. He can't hear a thing you say.
He's right. Garcia is deep in his own head now. He won't hear a thing until he's done with whatever he has to do. Even if the floor were to collapse out under us, I think he will be left standing in the air without even noticing.
Pardon me then.
She takes a step back out of respect.
All right, my dear guests. Please forgive my late introduction. Welcome to the Gallery of Bewilderment.
Thank you for inviting me here, Mr. Idealist.
The Foundation's investigators have been carefully observing each prisoner's movements since they arrived. But unfortunately, there is no sign of Ms. Doris.
I imagine you're curious about what we do here, in the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. We're putting together a magazine, a collection of poems from Kamala, our very own Casa de las Americas.
¿Casa de las Américas?
The Idealist nods with a smile.
Exactly. Named after its great predecessor. You're a fine mind indeed. At this very moment, all our compañeros are working on it. Garcia's exhibition, Alter Ego, is centered around the birth of this magazine. And here, you can see the signatures from all the poets involved, along with a few words they've written for it. Reading it is like looking into the soul of our society.
Okay.
All these signatures.
Sonetta steps forward to examine the perplexing artwork. In the dim lighting, the enormous face appears to be looming watchfully over the entire room. A floating slip of paper catches her attention.
Timekeeper, here! It's Dr. Doris' pseudonym, Erd.
Hey, there you go.
Then she was here.
Sonetta pockets the slip of paper dutifully.
Precisely. She used to be one of us, and still is, if I may correct myself. You can ask around here. Maybe some of our members know where she went. Don't we all miss the familiar faces of old friends? I'm sure they'll do everything they can to help you find yours.
As he finishes speaking, several enthusiastic prisoners come forward to greet the idealist.
Mr. Idealist, I finished my short story. It's called Weightlessness. It drifts around the subject like a ship floating in space. The readers can start anywhere in the story, or read it in any order they like.
And please take a look at my piece off limits! Every word that has been forbidden is either erased or replaced with symbols. It's a one-of-a-kind jarring experience.
And I finished a new paragraph. Just wrote it today.
A prisoner, wrapped in several meters of manuscript paper, like a strange sort of mummy, squeezes into the crowd.
Oh, new faces. Welcome.
Without any warning, he calmly tears the manuscript to shreds. The fluttering fragments fall like trailing sparks from a fireworks show. The abrupt welcome ceremony leaves the newcomers stunned, while the natives share knowing smiles.
Idealist, did he just...
This is the writer for the prologue of our magazine.
The leader of La Sociedad, either misunderstanding or evading the question, responds with enthusiasm.
The prologue consists of a 2,000-line poem and an introduction that is written in 86 languages to avoid misinterpretation.
Wow.
It represents every second we spend here. Naturally, the arrival of new members disrupts its structure, and so we must begin again from scratch.
I see.
So he just tore it all up like that because he thought we were joining? With all due respect, isn't this a little excessive? Heaven knows I'm not one to judge. I've torn up plenty of writing for my novel.
Please, pay it no mind. It may not be an easy task, but he's doing his part. Destruction is hard, but more necessary than you think.
Whoa.
Without it, we'd all be stuck in a still and stagnant...
This all sounds very complicated. When will your magazine be finished, then?
Without it, we'd all be stuck in a still and stagnant pond with all the smells that entail. Interesting.
Forgive me, but I'm not sure what a floating sheet, a jarring reading experience, and all this constant rewriting are meant to express.
It's so interesting to me how they link the idea of madness with literary theory. It really highlights the limitations of language, yet how much of a tool of legitimization for the mind it is. Yes. Yeah. There's, man, this is starting to make me think about David Lynch, actually. R.I.P. Where was it? I'm a big fake fan of David Lynch. I haven't taken in enough of David Lynch's work itself to say I'm a fan of his work, but I like what I've learned about David Lynch. And one thing I learned about David Lynch is that he actually has very little faith in language and words. And when he writes scripts for his movies, he really sees words as being a barrier to true expression through film. And if anyone is watching this and is wondering who I'm talking about, David Lynch directed the hit series Twin Peaks. He also made several films that are huge in like nerdy film nerd circles. And he also did the old Dune movie from the 1980s that wasn't a big hit. Let's see, he did Eraserhead and The Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive and some other stuff. Chameleon says, like, part of what I studied in college is how you express what you can't put into words. So this is so fascinating to me, lol. Oh, the ways you can express things without words, basically. Yeah. I'm really intrigued. Like, I'm not understanding it entirely, but I'm very, like, they have my attention. You know what I'm saying? They absolutely have my attention. It's part of the reason why I'm not really reacting to this much. I'm just, like, taking it in, like, okay, huh. Oh, in literature, how you find ways to express what you're struggling to express. Hmm. The jailer, having remained silent, takes a deep breath and interrupts.
As I've said, Komala isn't like any other prison.
Miss Jailer, do you mean...
This place also serves as a research center.
Right.
And the prisoners here, for all they claim, are not just poets. They are arcanist criminals, and each one of them has been diagnosed as mentally ill.
Right. The leader of La Sociedad remains composed, like an island in a rough sea, leaving the onlookers to question whether he is entirely mad or the sanest of them all.
You're quite right, Jailer. But let's not forget that mental illness is merely a deviation from the norm. And who decides the norm?
Yo!
You, the physician? Or the ones outside these walls?
This is me snapping my robot fingers in agreement. Yep. Who decides the norm? That is today's quote. I am going to pin this in my... I'm going to pin this comment. I think that is a very, very important question.
We've been exiled here by the standards of our time, deprived of our roles in the outside world. So please, as we agreed before, I ask you not to interfere with the affairs of La Sociedad.
Telesta Viti just rated with 6 viewers.
Telesta, hello! Welcome, raiders! Oh my goodness! Thank you for the raid! Hey, Elegy, how are you doing? Hi, everybody! Welcome, welcome! Oh my goodness, I hope you had a fun stream. I think I saw you playing some Final Fantasy 14 or 15 or whatever one it was. The one where you... I think you... Were you playing the one that was the MMORPG? I think that was it. 14, yes! That's excellent. I hope it was a fun time. Please do take care of yourself. I'm sure, you know, streams can take out a lot on you, and it's very important to take a break afterwards and chill out and make sure you eat some food and hydrate and whatever, I guess, if you need to. And that goes for everybody else who is reading with Telesta. Hello! Yeah, we are up to some reverse 1999 here. The latest stuff is really cool. I've been thinking about how the last time I talked about reverse 1999 with Telesta, I was bemoaning how the translation for the game was not super great. And I am pleased to update that they finally got good. They finally got good. It took a little time, but it's finally there. It still is a very complicated story. That hasn't changed, so you really need to pay attention to follow everything. And this story is probably the most, man, it's about people that are poets, and they've got a society, and they're talking about literature and how to express individuality and all this stuff that's very kind of out there, but it's really interesting. So maybe you guys will enjoy, even though this will refer to previous events of the game. But yeah, welcome. I'm ShinyBot, by the way, if you haven't been here before. I stream a lot of Reverse 1999 and Honkai Star Rail and some other stuff every once in a while. I'll shake things up with the odd online mahjong stream or streaming a survival game with my husband Duar or something else every once in a while. But yeah, welcome one, welcome all. I really like this character's voice, especially the Idealist. I especially like the line he just said. It's really good.
Quite right, Jayla. But let's not forget that mental illness is merely a deviation from the norm. And who decides the norm? You, the physician, or the ones outside these walls?
This guy is starting to really win me over. Even though I'm sure he's probably going to end up to be a bad guy or something, but we'll see. The basic setting here is that we are visiting a very, very remote prison in the southern hemisphere, the south tip of South America, if I'm correct. And our heroes, Vertin and her friend Sinetto, are on a journey to find a woman named Dr. Doris. And the event character that just came out is with us, and her name is Recoleta, and she's here to find her pen pal, who is a prisoner here named Aleph. And in the meantime, we've run into this guy.
These people are visitors, not your new recruits.
But should we not hear their thoughts first?
The Idealist turns towards the visitors with an urgent plea.
My friends, no one escapes the eye of power. We must resist. Stand with us. Pick up your pen and take poetry as your shield before it is too late.
Idealist, I admire your fight, but I came here with a different goal.
The leader of La Sociedad, caught in his fervor, ignores her words and carries on.
We are the last true owners of an old legend, words now only remembered as myth. We must stay on the path of literature until I find that transcendental solution.
Yeah, as you can see, it's really, it's a struggle to follow what he's talking about, but luckily, in this case, the game agrees with us that it is hard to follow him. And the characters that are, the main characters are kind of like,
To invent an idiom that is generic, all-encompassing, yet precise. My poem will be written in this language, leaving no room for doubt or misinterpretation. How blessed is a man with infallible memory. He holds the finer details of each object within him, more vivid than anyone else. In the end, he'll have all the answers, if time allows him.
A dreamlike expression crosses his face. It briefly seems as if he has become an entirely different person, but his vision is soon interrupted.
Sweet tongue, sister howls, hermaphrodite, tango. They put the whole city in the nut house.
Huh?
Timekeeper, look over there. Isn't that the prologue writer?
There's something off about him. Please, Timekeeper, stay away from him.
What?
What's happening?
Idealist, Pablo's having another episode.
Multiples of us. You make reality sick.
A flash of arcane energy flares up, and the jailer steps into the crowd reactively.
I could use your help, ladies.
Oh, also, the people that are in this prison are all arcanists. And arcanists in this world are basically people with magical powers. Okay, and it's time for some combat. What do I gotta do? Okay, this will probably be pretty simple.
Nothing unexpected. For now.
Oh, we have Recoleta in our party now! And she gets to ult right away. She just ults first thing. Okay. Max Moxie +2. Alright. I'm curious how Recoleta cast her ult at the beginning there, but whatever. Here we go. And what's this? Inflicts 2 stacks of passion drain on the target. Oh, okay.
The show's on in todos los momentos.
Brave decision.
Time waits for no one, even for a great feat. A truly villainous moment.
Hold on to that.
The plan failed.
And Recoleta.
Del tiempo. Plan A. Plan B. Nuestros aliados la verdad. A mice pass.
This is not bad for a stretch.
There we go. The frenzied prisoner is subdued. He lies convulsing in the center of the exhibit hall.
Poor soul. I'll bring him to bed.
Oh yeah, and I just remembered. Y'all should check out Telesta VT. I found her stream over a year ago. And I just love her atmosphere that she has in her streams. It's so nice. It feels like a really safe space. You know, it feels like a chill place to be. And, it's been nice being connected with Telesta because of, like, I feel like Telesta was one of the very first other streamers that I came across when I was starting out streaming. Here you go.
Well done, ladies. Aren't you full of surprises?
What was all that?
It seems he had a mental breakdown and lost control of his arcane skill. It appears that every line he recited carried unbridled power.
Usually, only specific lines can channel arcane energy. You can't just force the power into words or craft a poem to serve your purpose.
Oh.
Pablo must have a rare gift for identifying empowered lines.
Oh.
When he recited them all aloud, they overwhelmed him.
I find that very intriguing.
That's right. He's a genius who writes with ties of emotion, just like Arthur Rimbaud. We always keep a close eye on him to make sure he doesn't recite anything while reading or writing.
Wow. Roberta trades glances between the tense jailer and her visitors. Another Frenchman? There's just so many French names in this, huh? Are there French... Is the area around where this place is set known for being French-speaking?
But sometimes things slip through.
You must understand how difficult it is for a poet to never taste the words on his own lips.
So then, this isn't the first time, and you're all fully aware of it. Do I understand you right? Did you just admit that you've been hiding an inmate with a dangerous condition from us? According to the safety regulations for the Panopticon of Kamala, he must be sent to the physician for immediate treatment.
The jailer's command causes a dramatic shift in the room.
No, wait. We can explain. He's doing fine. We know how to help him. This was just an accident. We got distracted by the new members.
We won't be handing him over to the physician. No true writer would allow their mind, the most sacred palace of their thoughts, to be opened up to that cold-hearted, ignorant butcher. Even one who believes their inspiration flows from a source beyond the mere substance of a brain would refuse it.
The jailer furrows her brows and pulls out her weapon. The air tightens into an invisible thread. Arthur Rimbaud is just a very famous poet, I think. Oh, did they say a name? Arthur... Oh! Oh! Okay. Arthur Rimbaud. Okay. I want to make sure that I finish up stream before pre-roll is done. And I also will be finishing up stream pretty soon because I'm going to stop to cook dinner and eat dinner. But I basically had the idea that I think I will stream some more today after just a little hour and a half break for dinner. I'm gonna stop the stream in a few minutes here and then I'll start the stream again, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe there will still be people around who are interested in some more of this story. I think that would be a nice time. But just to make sure, y'all should definitely join my Discord if you have not already, and you will get notifications on when I go live and when I upload VODs on YouTube and stuff. I basically go on there to say like, oh, I'm not gonna stream today, or oh, I'm gonna stream at this time, or I'm late, or whatever. So, highly recommend going there. You can also see cute pictures of my pet rats. And also, if you like pet rats, I think you'd like these emotes. I'm going to share them and be like, look at them, aren't they so cute? It's basically emotes of the rats that I have on my PNG tuber right there. Anyway. I just want to share the stuff that I made. It didn't take that long to make, but at the same time, it takes a little while to make things happen on a Twitch stream, especially when you have ADHD. So I'm happy that that worked out. It's very cute. Thank you so much! I'm pleased, and I'm looking forward to making more emotes soon. But yeah, I think we're gonna stop there, and I'll do these two yellow thingies when I do the next stream. Not sure if that... So I feel like it's very likely that I will stream after dinner, but who knows? If I feel like I don't have enough energy left to keep going, I might not. But part of me wants to keep streaming because Duar is actually working this evening, so I feel like we'll have some nice parallel work going on. If you don't know, like, parallel work is a skill. It's a trick you can use to do stuff when you have ADHD. It can help to have someone else doing something similarly productive alongside you. Guess you're shopping, so I'll head to bed. Yes, please do get some sleep, Riku. Thank you so much for hanging out for the stream. I appreciate it. Have a nice sleep. And thank you everyone for joining me for this part of the stream. And keep an eye on the Twitch notifs, or whether those Twitch notifs come directly from Twitch or from Discord. And that will let you know if I start streaming again, which will either be in an hour and a half or on Monday. So yeah, for now, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, eat some food, stay hydrated and all that stuff. And we'll go ahead and sign off here for the recording. Bye-bye, recording! Cool. And I'll go ahead and raid with everybody that just raided me. You gotta love how Twitch raids can be sometimes. Let's see. Ooh. I think you guys might have a fun time checking out. Actually, no, wait. No, I'm gonna mix things up. I think it's time to raid Night Hunter Teresa, actually. Who is doing Arc Knights, her favorite gacha game, if what she is said to be believed, and I do believe her. So let's do this. Let's head on out to raid Night Hunter Teresa. And yeah, keep an eye on Twitch notifs for when I go live next, whether that's in an hour and a half or on Monday. I appreciate everyone's patience with me deciding things on the fly. Alright, thank you again, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!